Hello, this is Seiko Miki, and today we are going to talk about Black Mirror. In particular, we are going to talk about Season 7, Episode 1, Common People. A brief love story of a couple that is common people. The first time I watched this episode, I thought it was simple. It's easy to understand, it really captures what it's trying to put into the table. And not only that, I think you empathize with the couple. But I don't want to talk about the chapter per se. I want to talk about if this can happen nowadays. Because another thing that I have in my mind when I first watched it was, hey, this is not so far away. I'm pretty sure can be in a couple of months. Something like that. So let's start talking about the episode. This episode is about a couple that have a health problem. The nervous system of the woman, that is called Amanda, it's airtooed to a capital-funded subscription service. Yes, we are going to dig inside this. She's a school teacher and she collapsed from a brain aneurysm. Her husband, Mike, signs a last-ditch contract with Rivermind. This is important. Rivermind, it's a new company that is doing some new experiments in neuroanatomy and combining the nervous system with technology. The doctors found that Amanda had a problem will need surgery, brain surgery, and this can be risky for her. So the people of the company, of this new company called Rivermind, told Mike that they can solve this problem. They have a new evolutionary device, cloud linking life support bot. And this will optimize the body and the mind while converting every neuron spike into a property of telemetry. So if you think about it and you are enthusiastic and positive about how technology can help us, because I am too. There are a lot of research, for example, to help in diseases like Alzheimer. That's true. But we have to not be blind to this new technology, biological connections that we are having today. So the woman who is selling Rivermind to Mike said that she also had the Rivermind service in her own body. This generates trust in Mike, and she told Mike that not only that this is an amazing medical miracle, but also the surgery is free. Oh, what? Yeah, it's free because they are experimenting and this is revolutionary and they want to see if this is working. Okay, he was desperate. His wife was fade out and couldn't wake up ever again without any surgery. So he said yes to Rivermind. Right? Amazing how technology can optimize our own bodies. You're so altruistic. Company called Rivermind. Amazing. But yeah, the thing is like, yeah, the surgery is free, like those machines for coffee, that the machine can be cheap, but then you have to buy the capsules for the machine and they are really expensive. So that's the market in there. Well, something similar. Yeah, the surgery is free, but to have your cloud linking life support, you have to pay a service each month. Okay, so maybe it's worth it, right? Because it's a hard infrastructure right? You're living because of this cloud. Couple struggles paying the service each month. And suddenly something happened. That is, Amanda, who is a school teacher, starts giving ads. She speaks ads. There is this part of the episode that it's pretty funny. She's explaining how robot bees pollinize the flowers and how these robot bees make the honey. And when she talks about honey, she's talk about this honey cereal based on honey. Even little advertisement for the kids, and then she asked, what things have honey on it? And the kid answered, this cereal. And she realized that she said that, so she's talking without even knowing and giving advertisement. And when they complain about this Rivermind, the Rivermind lady replied that, oh yes, this is because you have the basic service of Rivermind. If you want to upgrade and not have ads, you should pay more. Yeah, you're getting it, right? Okay, if you pay more, you are free from ads, and also you have to sleep a little bit more. To upgrade Rivermind subscription, you have to pay more, of course. It's with their salary was too hard to pay the first one. So imagine to upgrading to a more expensive subscription that you have to pay every month. If not, you're going to die. Well, but they have to pay it because Amanda is a school teacher, and in the school you can't say advertisement if you're a teacher, right? Well, we can talk about that later, I know. But, okay, it makes sense that the school requires you not saying random ads in the middle of the class. I said it in the beginning, this is a pretty obvious thought. You know what is going to happen. It's the beginning. Really, you watch it and you're like, yeah, I know what it's going to happen next. And I like to point something that is okay. They desperate need to have money to survive. Yeah, that's the simple capitalism. Yeah, we know that. If you don't have money, you're going to die. Perfect. And there is this page in this fictional world that it's called Dumb Dummies. Dumb Dummies is like a live stream page where the people can give you money for doing dumb things. Okay, so Mike, the husband, start doing it. Start to do live streams and do extreme things like drinking his own, I can't say that, but you know, starts with B. He started doing these things and they can't even see each other because they are all day working, and the moments that Amanda is not working, she's sleeping because she needs more sleep because of this cloud-linked life support. He started doing disgusting things for money. It will look like it's fast money, but if you think about it, it's not fast money because he is paying that his wife is alive. So they're barely reaching the point they can survive, working all day. There is another part, there are a lot of little dots that we can analyze. I want to talk about the center of the episode, but I want to point this out too. Another thing is why she needs to sleep more, and she feels that isn't resting while she is sleeping. The Rivermind woman said that it's because they are using their cognitive skills, their cognitive functions for net, right? And she said that it's a way to returning the net, what the net is giving to you. I was like, they complain about it, but if I'm paying this service, why I have to give something else that it's my own brain functions? Well, that's another point, but I think it's important to mention that too. So now let's enter to the analysis. We are going to talk, because I really like, to repeat the authors that I like, but with different topics, so I think it's more graphic to understand. So if we look again, Mark Fisher, and think about this live stream, like the logical endgame of healthcare, we talk about capitalist realism and how we don't think there is any other way to live. Feel like we are in a hole that we can't escape. And the episodes give you that the only escape that it's possible to this system is to just not being alive anymore. This struggle is linked to our struggle to imagine non-market solutions to face our problems, because we have a real problem, that it's that Amanda had a problem in her brain. But instead of using our power as a collective, using the knowledge that we have for make a good life for everyone or for the community in general, it's explode for a company that is called Rivermind. So the first one in get the new knowledge, the newest technology, it's going to have the power of the life of the people. So Rivermind monetize life itself. So love becomes just a recurrent payment. It's like love, it's just expressed in money. It's like everything in our life is just money and reduct to that. We already talked about this a lot, about how capital becomes the new God, because after Nietzsche said, yeah, God is dead, we get it, yeah, God is dead. But what does it mean? Yeah, the values continue, amazing, but who is dictating nowadays what we have to do? Do you like your job? Do you like to do, for example, sign up to dummies so your wife have to live because of that money that you're having? Because sometimes we have useless job, and I can speak about that because I have been selling insurance. And I know how it is to spend half of your day in a useless, and not only useless, also kind of a scammy job. And you're like, yeah, amazing, my life is this. I have to scam old people to buy an insurance that, yeah, it's not going to cover anything, and it's just for those people to earn some money and, I don't know, washing money, hiring me, I don't know. So yeah, the capital as the God who controls the behavior, it's one part, but we can also think about the technology controlling our movements, our behavior, because Amanda, for example, and I didn't talk about this, but Amanda couldn't go outside of the net. She had a location where the net can work. If she goes outside of that location, she will just fade out. She's not going to have her cognitive functions anymore. So that is power, that is biopower, for example, that is controlling you where you can go, you can't go. If you pay more, you can go more far away, yeah. So now we are going to talk, because I mentioned it, about Foucault. Yeah, we are going to take Foucault again. So this episode literalizes the state corporate control of bodies. It's real and super obvious is how the medical authority and finance merge into a single dashboard. And I find that impressive because it's exactly what is happening right now. We are going to depend every time more and more about the technology we use. You know, there are a lot of optimistic people thinking about this and saying like, hey, technology can make the world more democratic, for example, yeah, like internet. Yes, thank you, internet, for make this so democratic. I'm not going to talk about Cambridge Analytica or whatever, but let me doubt about it. Just that, I'm going to say, let me doubt about it. So nowadays we don't need a policeman, a dictatorship to tell you what to think, how to behave. No. Now everything, it's in our own bodies. And this is super literal. Like, they have the control of what you speak out loud and you don't know. And if you think about it, I was, at the moment I was watching the episode, I was like, yeah, that kind of happened. nowadays we have advertisement. All the algorithms tell us, I don't know, what music we are hearing, what images are presented to us, what series we are going to watch next, what movie. So the access of culture, it's not like, oh yes, everything is the same and we can choose whatever we want and our desire, our own desire. No, the desire, it's made by algorithm. And I'm not saying, because I know a lot of people will say like, hey Mika, but what about the willpower of each person? If you want to talk about willpower, we can do it in another video, because that's, again, so long. And now let's talk about if this really can happen. Having in the cloud our own way of thinking, that can be true. Well, and I would like to talk about Micron's project. The aim of this project is to replicate part of a brain of a mouse, a little mouse, the visual cortex, and made a 3D replica that we can use for AI, right? So the connections of every neuron, it's replicate and do it. I'm going to put some pictures over here. It's really impressive. All the work that they did in the Micron's project, amazing, but 84,000 neurons, 524 million synapses, over 5 kilometers of neural connections, all in a tiny cube of brain tissue, smaller than a grain of sand. So everything was made by and founded by IAPRA, that is an US intelligence agency. Yes, I'm not doing a conspiracy theory here, it's just a fact. Yes, intelligence, like intelligence but for neural data. The aim is to create an AI that can replicate, maybe in the future, the way a human thinks. Not in a linear way, but using the synapses that the brain uses. In this case, it's the brain of a little mouse, but this is just the beginning. Imagine if you can map the brain with that level of precision. Then you can also decide which synapses are normal and which ones aren't. That turns the brain into what Foucault will call the device of power. We can see it even as a panopticon, not over behavior, but over thoughts. The ideas start creeping in that who we are, how our neural network is wired. That's a real risk. Neuroreductionism. Young Hawkins talked about this. Young Hawkins, who studied how scientific theories shape identity, said, when you create a new category, you also create a new kind of person. What does it mean? Well, so if we said you're a different person, your brain is not working correctly, we're going to fix it, we are creating and shaping a new identity. So if we reduce the subjectivity to a just simple data set, we lose something like the life experience, the desire, and the person's history of that person. The person is not only the connections that it has. It's a biological material. We are what we think, but we are also how we act in real life. This is me, I think. Okay, and this is another part that I find it so important, that it's civil science or military-industrial complex. And here I'm talking about the Micron's project, but also let's talk about a private company, okay, that it's doing this and have all this data. So this project was founded by an agency, by an intelligence agency. And does it matter? Yes, a lot, of course. Why they want to put so much money on it? Because they are good people and they love knowledge? Maybe, yeah, that can be an option. But also because when scientific knowledge depends on military or corporate agendas, as Paul Rainbow warned, it changes what kind of science we produce and who it serves. And René Favaloro, that it's a really famous doctor here in Argentina and also in the world, said one time, the knowledge has to be to the people. Then why does it matter if we talk in abstract? We have to study, we have to do the research for the common good. Are we trying to cure neurodegenerative diseases, or we are refining technologies of surveillance and control? And I'm not talking just because of paranoia, because it's history. You can watch the past and see what happened before. I would like to talk a little bit about life. And in this video, I wanted to take what Leonor Silvestri takes about Spinoza, about the potential. That is the power to affect and be affected. And we can see that Rivermind reduced Amanda's potential to just a flickering feed. Her conatus, so drive to persist, gets subcontracted because that drive to persist, to exist in this world, to do something that it matters for us, is just why I should keep living this life to pay them, because that's another thing they have. They feel frustrated because this endless cycle in the other alternative is just not living. Taking Deleuze and Guattari, that you also know that I love them, the body is literally body without organs. Organs present yet politically disconnected from desire. And desire is a long concept. It's a long concept. It's talked with Jacques Lacan. We already talk about Jacques Lacan a lot. The desire, I can do a full video talking about desire. You like that? I don't know, but write it in comments. Representation of yourself, it doesn't come from you. It comes from Rivermind. You know how political that is. Who had the power of you and your body? If you don't have money, the only alternative I was seeing in that moment was committing not a live thing. Right? You get me. I can't say it here in YouTube. And the worst part for me, at least, is that I would love to pay. For example, I pay my psychologist in a private therapy session, and I'm happy to pay her because I know how effort she puts in and how much she studied. She's an amazing professional, and I like to pay her as she deserves. I think she deserves more, but I'm happy she can live a life with that. And I'm happy that I can't afford that. But before, when I was working in the call center, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I went to a disgusting therapist. I'm just going to other topics. But what I'm trying to say, if you don't have money, you don't have access to the health system. And that it's disgusting. Not only disgusting, but also frustrating. So much frustrating. It's like I'm working so hard to have this shitty life, and even like this, I can't just continue. Amazing. So here is an uncomfortable question. You think the progress in technology and the advances are going to have any type of regulations, any type of ethics that because I'm not seeing that, at least nowadays. I'm seeing just everything exploding in every sense of the word exploding. And subscribe if you want to see my analysis of the episode 2 through the lens of post-colonial eco-horror. And I want to end this video saying a quote of Mark Fisher. The privatization of stress is the most successful of all capitalist enterprise. I don't have the answer of what to do, because I'm not who the fuck I am. Lenin? No, I'm not Lenin. Yeah, it's a reference of the book. Did you get it? I'm so funny. But I just like to open the debate for everyone. So see you next week maybe. Bye.